Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to discuss Ultimate Death Knight, as is every other content creator. But the idea that I had here actually came from Hellhades. I watched Hellhades' video where he's like, everyone do this. Ultimate Death Knight can solo stage 25 dungeon bosses. And as with most time I see that, obviously he shows it, it does it. But his account is much stronger than the average account. This is no diss against Hellhades. His content is great. But I have a decent account. It's about 2 years in, maybe. It has not been whaled out on. It is not an amazing account. And so I kind of want to see, can I, and therefore can maybe most of you, actually solo these stage 25 bosses with Ultimate Death Knight, getting the best gear that I can manage without necessarily stripping gear off the champs that I'm using in other bits of content. So I'm going to run the same strategy that Hellhades used. I'm going to try to get a poison set, and I'm actually going to use his optimizer from his website in order to make sure this is the best that I can actually do with my champion. So I'm going to switch over to the scene there to his optimizer. We'll see that I've set some minimum stats. Now, his speed that he had for his was 266. His resistance was 320. Those seem like some of the most important parts. Resistance for Ice Golem is absolutely necessary. And then I at least got a similar amount of accuracy. I think he had higher amount, but I want to at least land some of these debuffs. For the sets, I'm going to go in here. We're going to reset this. We're going to set this to Toxic, because that is the same set, same strat. And I do agree to probably the best DPS you're going to get out of somebody who is generally tanky. And let's see, what other things do I want to set up here? I'm not stealing artifacts from anybody else. And the other thing right now is I don't have any masteries in this champion. So we're going to see if this works without masteries. If it doesn't, I'll add masteries and, might edit this bit out of the video, or it might just go extended to the end. We'll see how that turns out. So now that we have these stats, I have the goal to balance, priority on defense and health after we get these minimum stats. And we'll see if I'm even capable of doing this. Can I even pull these stats out? Or am I going to have to drop my standards? Okay, so I can't even reach these stats as it is right now. So I'm going to have to go through and look at a bunch of variants, drop some stats, and see what the maximum I can actually achieve is, even if it isn't the goals that I was going for originally. So I'm kind of going to zoom through this in the background. I have this set up to 4 times speed. I did spend quite a bit of time working on this, so I kind of want to show you how many variations went through, like kind of how much time the search, how many gear options were checked. So you can kind of tell, really how powerful and diverse this Hellhades optimizer can be. But also a good example of a difference between, again, the ultra powerful accounts and a more realistic, if not still fairly strong account. Because the gear that I can come up with versus the gear that someone like Hellhades has as like throwaway gear is pretty different. And so I did find pretty good stuff. And so here I'm actually dropping it on the character. I switch back to the raid interface. I'm going to set this up. I like to do all my gearing in the fitting room so I can kind of see what the stats look like before I actually put them all on, since it does cost money to swap. If you kind of hit the wrong one or decide you want to change up your stats a little bit, it's not really the time to do it after it's on. That fitting room button, super key. Keep in mind also, as I drop all this piece of gear on, not every gear is already to level 16. So I try a couple artifacts, see if I can get better rolls than what the optimizer had been looking at. And I didn't, so I just used the optimizer gear and it was pretty good. And level these up to max. It is unfortunate we don't have an artifact event going on right now, but I at least can gain some points for the clan versus clan that is going on currently. I haven't 16'd out a blue piece of gear in a while. Oh, double attack rolls. That is painful. Okay, everything is at least... Oh, here we go. So I'm a lot slower and a bit less resisty. But we're going to take this in first. We're just going to try this on... we'll try this on Dragon, I guess. And we'll see, just with that, if it can do the deed. Now the claim is, of course, this can be done with Dragon 25. We're going to drop that out. Now we're not programming. We're going to do Death Knight, and we're going to do just straight up food. Now, I actually expect this one to fail, and not because of anything's wrong with this champion, but because I don't have masteries and I don't have... what am I looking for? And I don't also have him fully geared. So again, we're gonna speed through a little bit of a battle. I'm not gonna play you this whole thing. I just wanted to give you a chance to see how tanky he actually is, how survivable he is, with no masteries, no enchants, and no books. So he's just leveled to 60, dropped in gear. I mean, at least pretty good for the kind of gear I can get, but not amazing gear. You'll see he is able to, I skipped through, finish the first wave, and now we got onto wave 2, and we'll see wave 2 does hit quite a bit harder than wave 1, and he is rapidly declining. Also miss, it kind of cut, but I did take a debuff on wave 1, so his resistance is not actually perfect either. And so we get through, we go, and I'm coming back to normal time, and they finish him off. Spoilers for 3 seconds ahead. He's dead. Unsurprisingly, that did not work, but it actually worked a little bit better than I kind of expected, given that this guy isn't even fully built yet. So let's go back. Let's go back here to our Death Knight. Now we're going to enchant all this gear, and I'm actually just going to try it again with enchants and see if that does the deed. So here I'm going to go through. For the most part, I'm going to use 5-star enchants, although for some of them I'm going to drop a 4-star. I'm not going 6-star on any of these. It's not going to be the craziest best thing. And other than getting a minimum roll, I'm not going to re-roll any of these. So we're seeing that this is all 5-star enchants. They're not the top rolls. There is a lot of progress the champion could still be making, even in terms of the enchants going onto it. Oh, come on. Come on. Seriously. Okay, that's getting ridiculous. They gained several thousand HP. Good here. Speed. The resist is now over 300, which I think is going to be key for blocking those debuffs. And we're a lot faster. So we're going to try this again. Still no masteries. And still no books. And see if it works. Back into the run here. I'm going to cut through a bit this, skip a bit. We'll see he's handling that first wave much faster. He gets the second wave. He fights it for a while. I'm going to skip again to the end, but after 2 minutes, he has the wave really weak. Still dead. Still not surprised, but Ultimate Death Knight cannot do it even with the gear enchanted. Not necessarily the maximum I could possibly do, but realistic gear still can't do it. So let's get some masteries onto this champ and see if that will be enough to push it over. Now, of course, this is where it gets a little bit disconnected from everybody, because not everybody can just go here, click their button, and just have masteries. So I'm going to copy Hellhades masteries exactly. A, I think he's really good at this game, and B, I don't feel like troubleshooting to figure out what the best possible solution is. So we're going to get all scrolls, we're going to pay the gems, and now I'm unlocking. This speed will help getting to the boss as he kills some of those little ads. This is going to increase his damage to 10% pretty much immediately. Same thing, increase damage. And then we're going to go as standard, as I always do pretty much, War Master here. Let's get some extra HP. We're going to increase his shield. A little bit of extra healing. We want these extra turns. Those are actually great this time. Normally they're not when I'm doing this stuff. That's usually a lot of clan boss oriented things. Increase the amount. I don't think these are going to do anything, but maybe it's just to get through to extend the duration of buffs and this key ability right there. Now we're going to give this one more attempt here. Now we have masteries, we have enchants, but still no books and very reasonable gear. Let's give it a go. Now hopefully this does a bit more damage and speed and everything. Now that we have these extra masteries, he does a little bit of chance to proc some more damage. He has a slight better chance of landing all the stuff. He has a little bit more stats. And now his speed right now is greatly increased. So we'll see how that all plays out. So here I'm really going to zoom through these things, 5 times speed. But I want you to watch this one. I want to see the difference in power. He isn't quite as invincible as Hellhades. He does drop his HP a little bit, but he never really goes under half. And he just brings himself back up so quickly. His big heal, and having the chance for the heal and the shield to be extended by an extra turn thanks to masteries, the damage procs, and of course a massive amount of speed and just pure damage coming out of that masteries. It's pretty nice. We'll see he makes it this way, full health, and already he's not struggling anymore. Now instead of his HP dropping, and we'll also see we've got this point 2 minutes or so faster than the previous attempt, so it's just trucking along. I have every confidence by this moment watching this that he's going to be able to get through these waves, no trouble, with pretty much no risk. There's no danger here. He just got this. We'll see that he has made it to the dragon. And the only thing I really have worry here on this dragon fight is when the purple shield goes up for the dragon's secret attack, the less damage you do to it, the more it fills up the next time and the more damage he does. That's the one place that we could have some danger. We're not doing a lot of damage and we're only dropping the little poisons. You see that the purple bar is much bigger than it was the previous round. So one more of those could be dangerous. But overall, he's just kind of making quick work of this. I say quick, relative to a defense champ soloing. He made it to the last breath, and it's got the dragon. Ultimate Death Knight, solos, Dragon's Lair, stage 25, non-whale account, no books at all. We're going to sell these boots. But of course, to stay true to the video, we are taking inspiration from here. We got to try this on Ice Golem as well. Can it do multiple dungeons at 25? We're going to get rid of my Ice Golem team. We have those same food champs, and we do. This team has been through a lot with him, okay? There's bros now. Let's blow another 20 energy here. We're going to see him start with the waves, and immediately they're not really hurting him. This boss and these waves should actually be potentially easier than the previous because this is now his strong affinity, the force versus magic. So he just kind of slapping these waves down, not really taking a lot of damage. He's healing himself up. Ooh, that time he actually did. But he's healing himself up really quickly. The risk is low here. We'll see wave 1 is done. And while this is sped up really quickly, this is not an incredibly fast wave. But it's done all solo. One champion, one free champion, just soloing technically some of the hardest content in the game in the stage 25 dungeon bosses. We'll see he gets here, and he's still not really having any trouble. He does actually take a debuff, which is dangerous. It means his resistance is not quite as high as it should be. Better enchants, better gear, different mastery choices, maybe lots of ways to get around that. But it only happens once, fortunately there. Now the danger is, of course, if it comes up again on the boss and he takes one of those, the heal debuff, or even the defense down, could be problematic. You'll see here, however, again, not incredibly fast. We're zipping through this at 4 or 5 times speed on the video. And mostly because I think it's neat. I think it's cool to watch how he does it. You could obviously bring with any champion that can survive, and it would speed this up. Plus, he does provide that shield and the heal I believe, to his whole team, at least one of the two, which is going to help him just go. The boss maintains relative safety because for the most part, most of the damage the boss is taking, particularly while the ads are up, which is the most dangerous time, is from the poison debuffs. You'll see here while the boss has no ads, he does take some damage from the War Master procs, but that isn't a problem because there's no ads to give a boost to the boss's special ability. Now we'll see here, the attack down stays almost permanently on the ads and the boss, mostly only mattering on the boss, and the boss just slowly gets whittled down via poison. Now this is a place where having a little bit better gear, better enchants, and books is going to speed this run up, but it's pretty impressive to watch a free champion do all of this. And he can clear Ice Golem's peak stage 25 as well, all by himself, doing a ton of damage, not taking any damage. Well, a ton of damage in total, because it takes him forever. Obviously, this is a very slow solo. There are other champions that can do this better. But I do want to highlight, and this is great, and hats off to Hellhades and his video. This can be done with a very realistic build, not a whale account, not the craziest of gear, not 6-star enchants. We use mostly 5 without getting perfect rolls on them. We don't even have masteries on this ultimate Death Knight here. His skills are still like, how much survivability do we gain getting 2 turns off of this ability? The increased damage, the extra chance for the decreased attack, the extra provoke chance, and of course even more damage. Like getting all this through. Now fortunately we still get the benefit of his passive unbooked. But I didn't really expect to be able to do it. I thought I would need more gear. My gear isn't up to where Hellhades gear is for this. I am 11,000 HP lower, a little bit less defense. I have like 13 less speed. I'm pretty sure it's lower crit rate and damage, but I think those are similar. My resist is slightly lower. So it's like I kind of expected to, especially the 10,000 HP, for that to be a problem. And then also, like, for the books, like, so if you're balling on a budget here, if you don't have, you know, spare legendary books to put in kind of a meme champion to do a very niche role, then this build actually works pretty well. Like, I am pleasantly surprised with how this worked out. If you have a decent toxic set, put him in toxic, put him in speed, get good HP, get great defense as much as you can get. The crit damage. Obviously, if you get higher crit damage, this would just go even faster. So the more whale you are, the easier this is going to be. But at that point, you probably have somebody who can do this solo job a little bit more efficiently here. Now, this is not time efficient to go after Dragon and Ice Golem with this guy, but it is energy efficient. And now that you've seen it can do it at 25, since it's not speed tuned, it can definitely do it at 20. So this isn't great for rapidly gaining points in a tournament, but this is fine for setting this overnight, using your multi-battles, or if you use RSL Helper, using that for your extra battles. I personally do almost everything I do on my phone. I pretty much only come to the computer for Hellhades Optimizer and to record these videos. So, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. This worked out pretty nice. Again, this has been an alternate image raid video. This has been Raid Shadow Legend talking about Ultimate Death Knight. And if you have any comments, let me know. Do you like seeing this comparison of a build that a kind of normal account can do compared to one of the top end content creators with one of the best accounts? Maybe not in the game, but at least that we can see. And is that interesting? Obviously, if you like it, like, sub. If not, smash that down vote button because it's still engagements here for the channel. And as always, have a great day.